Welcome to the Disagreeable Nerd podcast, a podcast where nerds from various ages and backgrounds get together to discuss movies, TV, books, and anything else that pops into their small, simple minds. Now sit back, relax, and let their ignorance wash over you.
And welcome to another episode of Disagreeable Nerd. This is Gabby, the titular Disagreeable Nerd. With me today also is...
With your skate champ, Chardiz.
And also...
Deej, Meister Flex.
Welcome to episode...
Wait.
Huh?
What did DJ say? I didn't even catch that.
I said Deej, Meister Flex.
Is that your new thing?
I thought he said Mr. Flex.
I know he's Flex was in it, so I was like, oh.
He's just walking around flexing.
Like,
he likes to flex.
Deej, Meister Flex.
Master Flex.
You bought your tickets yet?
I like it. I think we all should have like something like, something. Not just our names.
Something like something.
Radio names?
Radio names, yes. That's cool.
Call signs?
Episode 92.
Oh, snap. We're getting close to 100. We got to do a special episode 100. Who's with me? I am.
If only we could pick up one listener per episode. That would be nice. But we're not there yet. We picked up half a listener per episode.
How does that work?
I don't know.
Gubby doesn't know anything.
Are there decimal points in our listeners count?
No.
Gubby, we have like we have listeners, but we just have like two that really, or three, four actually thinking about it now that actually say stuff.
Mr. Bradshaw, Mr. Jazzer.
Yep. It's about to say, speaking of listeners and speaking of decimal points, Mr. Jazzer, I took your words to heart. I agree with the math thing. I listened back and I was like, wow, that was pretty awful.
I listened to it again too, Deej, and I was like, oh, I'm so confused.
But
I
I did figure it out on my own in my head later, and then asked Google and Siri, and it was correct. So it just took me a second. I was on the spot, Mr. Jazzer. I apologize.
Wow.
Thank you for the criticism.
The humility.
Get better at math. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently so. Said my math skills were weak. You know what? I asked two other people at the same time the same question, and they couldn't figure it out in their head either right away.
Wow.
So I felt okay about it.
So did I do it correctly? I think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, the 1/50th is correct. That is correct.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was just trying to put it into a percentage, which is that it's actually 2%, which makes sense.
Notice I never attempted it because I knew I would butcher the whole thing.
I shouldn't have.
I'm like listening to you guys. I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna let
2% of their budget. I think I said like 0.5% or something.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, wait, that seemed too low. But
I did catch 0.5%.
I was never confident of our answer. Anyway, let's move on.
I don't know. I was confident. If y'all sounded confident, I was confident in your answer. Like if you said it with like, yeah.
That's 90% of it. It's just sounding confident. People will believe you.
Yeah. Because I sometimes, maybe 95% of the time, sometimes don't sound confident. And then and I know how that is.
Even when you are confident, if I question you, like lose it all.
You do that on purpose because you know me. You know me too well, and you do it because I'll start freaking out.
Anytime someone questions what you say, you lose a little bit of confidence. You're like, maybe I am not correct.
Yeah. Even when I am correct, I'll go, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know. There's some things I'm like super confident in.
Okay, what is it, Gabby? What are you confident in? Come on, tell us.
That Avatar's a good movie.
No, not confident in that one.
Dang.
But there are some things I'm confident in.
Okay.
But I don't know right off the top of my head. I would have to go through it.
Are you confident in playing or teaching a board game to a person?
No, nothing like that.
He's confident in his truck driving skills.
I'm confident in my truck driving skills.
Hey,
I can drive a truck.
That's good. That's good.
I can back that rascal up anywhere you need it.
Wait.
Just go ahead and back that thing up.
I will back that thing up. I don't know. Wherever you need it backed up to, I will back that thing up.
Hey, that's good that you're confident in there. Because, you can kill somebody if you, don't know what you're doing.
He drives a deadly weapon.
Lots of, I would say, I don't know.
Dusty in that brain.
It is. It's like, I mean,
desert.
You'd have to, desert in my mind. If I...
Those little things
are you confident in anything? Is there anything you're confident in, Charday? Like if you're talking about it, you're like, oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about. And people
Skating.
can question you. And
For me,
she's a novice to intermediate on skating knowledge.
Well, yes, I'm constantly learning, and I can't say I'm so confident in skating. I'm getting more confident, but I'm not like super confident because I can still wipe out at any time when I'm just standing. And I don't know. That's a good question. I think I'm going to reflect on this question in my dreams tonight, and then
Like if you have a specialty.
next podcast.
I tell you,
have to tell you.
I don't know if confidence is the right word, but I have a lot of knowledge, and this is ironic, but I guarantee there's a lot more like me. As a morbidly obese fat man, I have a lot of knowledge about weight loss. Like I can tell you what you need to do and the different ways to do it and the different diets, but what works, blah, blah, blah. Now, applying it, I can't do, but I know obviously what you need to do to lose weight. Although that changes day to day on the internet. Like, oh, this is true. This sucks. Low carb, low fat. Count your calories.
Carb recycling.
Don't count your calories. Eggs are good. Eggs are the devil.
Starve yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, intermittent fasting. Starve yourself. That's bad for you.
That's bad. Your body is going to start storing fat.
Oh, but no. Mankind in the beginning used to live that way, so it's the best thing for you. So, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not confident in what works,
what you want.
but I know a lot of the theories out there. I just don't apply.
You're confident in diet theories.
I have a diet theory.
Theoretically, this diet should work.
I'm confident in like taking care of my hair. I don't know if that's a thing. Like I know how to do that very well.
We're reaching here.
Like if somebody says, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, no, I do know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about because you're going off old knowledge that nobody does that anymore. This is the 21st century, 2021. That was the old way. This is the new way because, yeah, that's not how we do things. That's kind of what I think.
But other than that, there's very little I am confident in. That's true.
Wow, this has been
I
great.
like confidence. All right, getting off of confidence.
This is good therapy. So
I don't need therapy.
Why? You do need therapy.
I do not.
Everybody needs therapy. Hello.
Why?
Because it helps.
I'm
little brain.
I'm drinking my therapy right now.
See, you say you don't need therapy. That's your therapy. It comes in many forms.
I got a therapist named Jack Daniels.
Jack Dan.
I ate my therapy earlier in the form of a Taco Bell run. Now I'm drinking my therapy.
Yeah.
And thus the morbidly obese. See, don't do what I'm doing. Do as I say, not as I do.
Gabby's a great example.
What have you been up to?
Okay, so let's see. This week I have not skated. I have to say that. That's not what I've been up to.
So you're not a skater chimp.
I am. I just haven't skated because I've been really in a funk because my skates.
You're a sporadically skates chimp.
So I had to send them back, and they gave me a full.
You're a non-practicing skater.
Just this week, you guys, they refunded me fully because they don't have my size, and that really put me in a funk for some reason. I don't know why. I just kind of was like, "Oh, this sucks." But I do have a pair of skates. Anyways, I didn't do any of that. Today I did go to the cemetery.
Okay.
So today is the 7-year anniversary of my father. So me and my sisters did go put some flowers on the grave, and we did that today. So that was I don't know if you say nice. So I did that.
You call him father because he was your dad.
Yeah.
But he's technically your stepfather.
But yeah.
Gotcha.
So I guess dad.
Your biological father also passed away many months ago.
Yeah. He, I guess it's weird. It's like he's the father and this is my dad.
Yeah.
So I did that.
He fathered you, but Remise was your dad.
Yeah.
It's like the old thing. Anybody can be a father, but only a few can be your dad.
Yeah. And I've heard it in so many movies.
Yes.
Like it's a thing.
He may be your father, but I'm your daddy, boy.
Guardians of the Galaxy right there, baby.
And sometimes it's not even a father. It's just like a sperm donor type thing,
Yeah, like you didn't know them. They didn't raise you.
Gabby, what's it like to have grown up in a non-broken family?
That's a good question.
It was interesting.
That's a really good question.
Define non-broken.
Oh my God. Gabby, don't get that deep.
What?
You have
How
both
is it to have parents that
both your
stay
parents.
together?
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's a completely different question. You know, sometimes when you have parents that stay together, it's a good thing.
Getting deep.
Sometimes it's not.
Well,
But I love both of my parents very much, even though my mother's passed away this month for 2 years.
we
Thanks
both
a
have
lot.
deaths.
Let's talk about death this whole podcast.
Hey, that's what's happening. Hello. That's what
My
happened.
father died 6 years ago in January.
6 years ago, January. Wow.
Exactly January 1st.
Wow.
Really?
So I always remember every new year is another anniversary.
Wow. I didn't realize
Let's
it had
drink
been
to that.
6 years. Drink into it. Drink your makers, your
I
jack.
wish I had something harder than Guinness right now.
Mammy and Pappy.
But other than that, haven't really. Oh, well, okay, wait. I did watch True Grit with Gabi and Gina. And
Oh, did you like it?
that was awesome. Loved it. I do not know this man. That's good.
I do not know this man.
He's good. Haley Steinfeld, loved her. She's great. I feel like seriously, okay, so I did buy the book. I feel like seriously, this book is gonna be good, like even better than the movie. I like the movie is awesome, but like I heard really good reviews on the book. Like it's just like this movie that they made versus the John Wayne, yeah. It's closer.
John Wayne, yeah.
I mean, I said yeah, like John Wayne,
Oh.
yeah.
John Wayne.
Like I was saying John Wayne, and then I said yeah. Don't know why I said that.
John Wayne, yeah.
Jane, what? Anyways, they say this one, the newest one, that's closer to the book. So I am excited about it. And, you know, that's just like The Martian. When I started reading The Martian, it's just like the book. I mean, the movie as well. So it's funny. And it's really funny. I was laughing out loud reading that book.
The movie had so many, like the dialogue of this movie is just incredible.
They're Fort Smith, Arkansas, right? Well, they're in Arkansas and headed to, I thought they were headed to somewhere in Arkansas, but it's good.
LaBeef,
Le Beef.
Matt Damon, Maddie,
So-
Shailene Woodley. Wait, is that right?
No, she
No,
was in that?
that's Divergent Girl, right?
Yeah, this is
Who
Haley.
is this girl?
Haley
God.
Steinfeld?
Haley Steinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld.
She was in Bumblebee.
Shailene Woodley, the
Bumblebee tuna.
poor
Bumblebee tuna.
the poor man's Katniss Everdeen. Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Shailene Woodley was in like American Life, Teenager, Secret,
The
whatever.
Divergent Girl, right?
Yeah, but she's
Okay.
also in that Secret Life of American Teenager. That's the first. I've never
Yeah,
seen
you remember that? You remember that movie series? You remember that? Divergent?
TV
You guys remember that?
Yeah.
No.
Hey,
Nobody does.
hey, I do because I was into the books when they first were, came out, and
Of course you were.
I liked the first book, and I didn't read the
I'd
second.
expect nothing less.
So with True Grit, that was like the beginning of Jeff Bridges. I do not know this man. Like he just like.
Honestly, I didn't know any of these quotes. Like I've heard you say this, and I didn't know it until I watched this movie, and now I can like say I understand the quote now, and I like it.
It astonishes me that Mr. LaBeef has been shot, trampled, nearly bitten his tongue off, and yet not only does he continue to talk, but he spills the banks of English.
It's good.
Yeah. I've seen Jeff Bridges in like The Giver, and
He was kind of talking like that in that too.
I think what else has he been in? I know for the sure Giver I've seen him in. He's probably been in a lot of other stuff,
So many good lines.
but that's all I've been up to.
Was he mumbling in Tron?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about Tron.
Yes, he was mumbling in Tron.
That's right.
Literally, I think since True Grit, or I don't know if The Giver came first, but one of them two, that started his mumble.
I totally just remembered something.
What?
Another show that me and Gabi watched. 2 shows actually that we watched. We watched Flashpoint. We finally finished Flashpoint. Paradox. I have started that movie so many times and never finished it, and we finally finished
That's
it.
the animated one?
Yes. And it's good. And we also watched Batman, The Dark Knight. Is it called The Dark Knight?
Dark Knight
Dark
Returns?
Knight Returns Part 1.
Yeah, and it's...
Yeah, I just watched both of those the other day.
So we need to watch parts 2 next. So
Part 1's really good.
we were saying out of Flashpoint and this one, The Dark Knight Returns, we like Dark Knight Returns better.
Flashpoint Paradox, like, that's really, like, lots of people hold that up on a pedestal, and it was fine. It was good, but I just didn't think it was as great as everybody always says it is.
I thought it was
I cannot
awesome.
remember if I watched it or not.
I
feel like I have, but it's been so long, I don't remember.
I think part of my thing is, I don't know. First of all, I've read the comic. I've seen the
I've read the
CW
comic.
version.
I read the comic too.
Now I've seen this one. I've experienced the Flashpoint paradox so many times. I did like the Thomas Wayne, and it was good, and it was kind of funny. Well, it was funny that he kind of just accepted that, like, he kind of turned the leaf real quick on accepting Barry in the alternate universe, because he's like didn't know who he was or anything, but then Barry said Bruce's name, and first he punched him in the face, and he's like, "Why are you saying that name?" or "Don't ever say that name," or something. Oh, but then Barry's like,
Martha all over again.
But I'm from an alternate universe, and like he kind of accepts that fairly quickly.
I feel like he was still a little on the edge, just a little bit.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just, to me, I guess I have heard how good this movie is, and I just like watch it. I'm like, yeah, it's a good cartoon. Paige gets.
It couldn't have been that good if y'all didn't finish it the first viewing.
Paige gets mad when I call it a cartoon.
I don't get mad. I just can't say cartoon for any.
So what would you call it?
DC.
Just a movie?
I just call it
animation
or animated movie.
I guess cartoon does imply maybe it's like
animated,
a funny,
flash
short
tune. A tune implies that it's like a kids show, like a funny.
Yeah, because this is not a kid. I mean, not saying it's like bad. It's just not a kid cartoon.
So just going along with yours, but just kind of lump them in together, I guess. The third one I watched was Invincible on Prime. It's a Robert Kirkland, the guy that wrote Walking Dead, the comic book, you know, and it was good. Like, well, I mean, I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm like 3 episodes in, but after the first episode, I was like, at the end of the first episode, I was like,
yeah,
what?
We were like, oh.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
So what else have you been up to?
I rewatched Sneakers. That was one of my favorite movies growing up.
Was that with Angelina Jolie and?
No, that's Hackers.
Oh, Hackers, Sneakers.
But very
Sneakers
similar concept. Very similar concept. It's an old
that's
movie.
Robert Redford.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sneakers leaps and bounds. Hackers is like this 90s like alternative punk view of
that's when you said they were
hacking. Just set some techno music and they play dial tones but Sneakers, I loved it growing up because the ensemble cast, their chemistry works.
Is that Dan Aykroyd?
It's Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, I've seen it. It's been a long
Robert
time.
Redford, River Phoenix.
River Phoenix, that's my boy right there.
David Strathairn, or Straighthairn, whatever you say it. And then Sidney Poitier. And
Sydney,
what's her name?
Sydney, that's my other boy.
What's the lady's name from Battlestar Galactica?
You talking about the chick on your wall or no?
No.
Oh, Katie Sackhoff?
The president lady. The president. I think it's like Mary McConnell or something.
Oh, yeah. I know
but
who you're
just
talking
like,
about.
and Ben Kingsley. Yeah. Just this like all-star cast.
Right.
And I realized this movie really does. Okay, what's funny is the climactic action scene of this movie is literally Robert Redford trying to walk as slowly as he can so as not to set off motion sensors. And like that's the thrilling moment. And then, but the rest of it is just, early 90s computer stuff but it's just the back and forth, the dialogue, and just the chemistry between that ensemble cast. And it's oh man, it's good stuff. And I was watching, I was like,
it when I watched it.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this will hold up because it's like super old, but it does. It's even though the technology is like completely outdated, it's still really good, very enjoyable. I think it's on HBO Max.
I'll have to see if I can watch it again.
Have you never seen it, Sade?
No, I've seen you watching it, but I told myself I would like to watch it because I like,
I mean, it is
movies from that time.
It's a slower movie because there isn't no action in it. It is just like building of suspense and all this type of stuff. But
just got to say, I think my phone's fracked.
Really? Is it not restarting?
It's not working. No, it's been charging this whole time.
Now, you sure it just isn't overheated?
No, that was like hours ago.
Okay.
Well, it was working after that. I think it's just
Daggum androids.
like what the heck?
I hate that for you.
I do not.
How did you overheat it? I asked earlier, but I don't think you answered.
So technically, I was outside grounding and sitting in the sun, and I left my phone on the ground, and I went to go look at my garden, and then I got distracted picking out crap out of the garden, like like leaves and stuff. And my phone was in the sun the whole time I was doing that. And when I came back to my chair, I went to get on my phone, and then it was like, your phone is overheating. We are shutting down, or something like that. You know, like the computer robot talk stuff. So I couldn't do anything. And then it restores and says, now your phone is at normal temp. And it worked normal. And that was before I left to go inside the house. So that was like 1 o'clock. So it's been working since 1.
What kind of phone do you have? The Ford F1 McLaren?
I have a... You trying to be funny? Shut up.
What is
I have a OnePlus McLaren phone.
God, the McLaren.
Got a McLaren. It's just like it overheats.
It was straight in the sun. But
blew a
you
head
guys
gasket.
Shut your mouths. You guys' phones can overheat. Apple can overheat.
I've had my phone now.
Her phone started pouring out steam.
It was angry.
See some oil leaking out
Had
the
to
bottom.
pull over.
It's all right. I don't need a phone. I'll throw it away.
You
Less
probably just need
stress.
some coolant.
Put some antifreeze in there, you'd be good.
Yeah, AutoZone
Where
just
would
right
I
down
get
the street.
it? Oh, okay, great. I would
Well,
do
that
that.
sucks. I mean, that really does suck. I know.
Like,
If
seriously,
my phone died,
It's never done this before.
like my wife has recently told me she thinks I'm addicted to my phone, which is not good.
I think you are.
Hey,
Hi, sorry.
hey.
I forget to be
And
neutral.
so I'm working on that, on trying not to be on my phone nonstop 24/7 because I
You
am.
and Char are very similar in that instance.
I am. But
This is a thing we
I'm
discussed.
just constantly checking my tweets, my insties.
So the thing
TikTok.
we were discussing is when you're talking to a person and they're on their phone, doesn't it feel like they don't care?
Well,
what you're
obviously,
saying?
yes.
And like that's how Gabi
It's
is.
rude. I mean, just to be honest, it's rude, and I know that. It's like, oh, what you're saying is boring me. Let me do something better.
I was having a whole conversation with myself one time.
You keep talking. I want to do something better and get on my phone. Yeah.
Like for me,
But I'm guilty of it. So but I do realize that I don't like it when people do that to me.
no, you don't.
like
You
I'm
will
s-
actually
hey,
point
hey,
it out, and
hey.
then I'll say, "This is how we start fights, Steve." I'll say, "Actually, you do the same thing, dude."
I can never provide Paige some, let's say, not criticism, but just positive points of
Don't say
maybe
positive points. That's
positive-
bullcrap. You're
positive points.
gaslighting me.
She has been saying she got on the internet, heard the term gaslighting,
No, false.
did some research. Now everything I say, you're gaslighting me.
First of
Like,
all,
oh my
no,
God.
shut your mouth. You think I just find new things? I've heard the word gaslighting for like a long time. It's not off the internet, you idiot.
Paige, you just heard it. Come
No,
on.
I did not teach. I like to say it now because Gabi always he's confrontational, right? He is. So I'm trying to do what
Lighting
he
your
does.
farts doesn't count as gaslighting.
It does, actually.
Anyway.
I don't even know what we were talking
So
about.
RIP to your Ford F1 McLaren phone.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like, thank you.
Why would I thank you? What have you done for me?
I've done a lot
other
for
than
you.
that, let's see. We've been watching Resident Alien, the best show on TV in my opinion. I played. Me and Sade are vaccinated.
Oh my God. I was wiped out yesterday. Like it's fine. I was yesterday morning, I felt like actual crap, and I was trying to push through it because I was trying to prove Gabi that I was superior to him because he didn't have any symptoms. And it got to the point where I'm like, Paige, you're an idiot. Why are you trying to why are you pushing through suffering right now? Why are you doing this? So I eventually took a Tylenol.
She got tired. She got achy. She got a
I'm
headache.
pretty sure I got a low grade fever because I had the chills.
That's one of the symptoms. She took a cup of Tylenol though, and it made her feel better.
And
I
then
know my mom left work. She was so tired and nauseous.
it feels like a
She got her
300
second
pound
shot.
elephant on you or something.
Yeah, fortunately for me, I never felt nothing. I don't know. And I was asking her, I wonder, as we are complete idiots in the medical field, I wonder
I'm
if
not totally completely
I don't.
idiot, but
Oh,
It is her
okay.
job.
Sorry. You draw blood.
I do.
You aim for the
First,
vein,
no,
and you
no,
get
no, no,
lucky,
no.
and you hit that vein.
no, I went to school for it, and we
No,
learned
that's
more
true.
than drawing
That's
blood.
true.
Thank
I
you.
know. Don't let me gaslight
Okay,
you.
truck driver.
I'm an amazing truck driver.
Okay, I'm amazing phlebotomist.
That's good that you have confidence
Thank
in that.
you.
Paige is a prospector. Hitting them veins. She's like, oh, we struck gold.
We found one.
We struck that red blood gold.
I do get excited
Crimson
though,
gold.
when I get that flash of blood.
No,
Hey,
anyway.
by the way, we
Oh,
haven't
so-
even talked about DJ's white butts. Just saying.
He never has any.
But I had nothing.
He's
Just
watched
been working.
some YouTube stuff. I was wondering, like, your reaction to the vaccine, if that would be similar, because I know some vaccines, they give you either a small dead form of the virus, like the flu. When they give you the flu vaccine, it's like a dead form of the virus or whatever. I'm just going to show how stupid I am right now. Any people that with any knowledge
Yeah, you
listening.
sound real stupid.
But
Most people are much,
so it's like
much less knowledgeable about these things.
your reaction to the virus, the vaccine. I wonder if that would like somewhat indicative of your reaction to the virus if you had gotten it. Is basically my question. And I know neither of you would know.
You
but
know what?
We can sit here and talk about
I
it.
think it's
That is a good question,
though. Because you didn't react at all to the vaccine. At all.
No, like nothing.
It means you
got a
have
shot
no
in the arm.
immunity. Immunity. You're not a superhero. You're going to die.
That's false. But I mean, some people just had no reaction to the virus either.
You don't have antibodies. You didn't get any.
I have many bodies. This is just one. My
You
corporeal,
definitely don't have an antibody.
my corporeal form. And the antiverse.
Gabby's got a pro body.
I'm pro body. I'm all about
It's
having
full of
more
pro
body.
bodies.
Everybody.
All right, Deej. Have you been up to anything?
What have you been up to, Deej?
Nope, I've been getting home
I
late
tried to recover.
from
Why are you
work
getting home so late?
because I'm changing jobs and I'm trying to learn my other job because they don't have anybody to replace me yet. So I'm technically trying to run it back and forth and do both right now.
That sucks.
Yeah. But I mean, just do my usual watching YouTube when I get home.
How's your
Me and
wood
Charlie.
shop?
How's my what?
Your wood shop.
Oh my God. I still have to finish my third thing for Lexi. I've got until the 24th, I think.
Oh, you better get on to that, boy.
Rather, to finish it. So I actually need to start on that this coming week.
What were you going to say? You and Char? I kind of cut you
me
off.
and Char have been playing games together, just my Xbox and chilling out.
So I have a question for you. Is that kind of like, is that like cool for you? Like your wife like plays video games with you? Like, is that like something you're
Yeah,
like
it's
a
awesome.
plus? I think that's interesting because I don't know. For some reason, Char
Because
just
Gina
doesn't.
hates my video
Char
games.
doesn't seem like the kind of person to me personally that likes video games, but she likes video games, and I find that fascinating. I don't know.
Char was playing Halo before we got married.
Really?
Yeah,
That
she was trying to beat the Halo 3
fascinating.
campaign when we were talking.
Well, I guess. Well, for one, I didn't know Char as well, so I guess it's just like, oh, okay, that's a neat thing I did know. But yeah, Gina hates video games.
Gina was playing
hates
Halo before
everything.
we got married, except she was singing, "Remember those walls of built, oh, baby, they're tumbling down."
Did you just look up the lyrics? Because
They
you don't
didn't
know
even
lyrics.
Put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound.
You're totally looking at the
That
lyrics.
song definitely was not out before y'all were married.
Never really had.
Y'all old as heck.
We were talking about music the other night. And actually, I'm going to bring this out real quick.
Go ahead.
So when it comes to like music, so I'm always trying to find something new from the past to listen to.
New from the past.
I am, because I'm just curious.
That's a.
Did you guys ever listen to the Ramones?
No.
Nope.
So I tried to force myself to listen to the Ramones, and I just can't do it. It's impossible. Like, all their songs sound the same.
I don't enjoy that
But
sound.
let me tell you why I started listening to them, though, because I see a lot of people.
everybody says they're important.
No, that's not why.
Oh, okay.
I see a lot of people with their T-shirts on, and I'm like, why do they have this T-shirt on? Do they know this? Do they know any of their music at all? Is it just a to look
It's
cool.
cool. That's part of it. Yes.
Is that part of it? Because when I listen to their albums, I listen to a full album and I'm just like, no.
Hey, just the same reason any teenager right now wears Def Leppard shirts and AC/DC and Metallica. They don't listen to that music. They never have.
Okay, well, it's just it's fascinating to me because
It's just a trend right now.
Okay, how do you wear a T-shirt of a band that you don't like?
Well, I mean, it's a kind of a hipster thing, probably. I'm not going to discount the Ramones' importance in music because A, I don't have that sort of knowledge, but B, I know that they are important because tons of people with higher critical knowledge of music and the effects and influence of different bands say the Ramones are a thing. Okay, great. I don't care. I don't like them. I don't like their sound.
I would like to know. They're 70s.
I'm not really into punk.
They're 70s punk, which is cool for me because I like that. But here's the thing: The Cure.
The Cure. Yes, I'm glad
they are also in that genre, but they're diverse.
Are they considered punk?
They're diverse. Yes, they are. But like then they're also considered.
I'm more of a ska guy myself.
Pop punk, but to
no
me,
doubt.
They are so much
before
more
reggae.
diverse.
Mighty Boston's. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying that, like, to me, they're better than Ramones.
In your opinion,
it's actually not the Ramones. It's
Yes.
Ramones. But to me,
is it just Ramones?
Yeah. To me, they are so much better.
Just like we're Disagreeable Nerd, not the Disagreeable Nerd.
Yeah.
See, that makes it more of like a band. So I guess that's interesting. So like if I called myself, if this was the Disagreeable Nerd podcast, like that means someone is the Disagreeable Nerd, which is me, titular.
False.
But you do say that at the beginning of every podcast.
I do.
You say, welcome back to the Disagreeable Nerd podcast.
So that's me.
Me, the titular Disagreeable Nerd.
I am
feel
the
like
you
titular.
shut us out.
I feel like you
don't exist.
You are. What's another word?
But
like
the actual name,
casting us out.
the actual name, as LLC, is Disagreeable Nerd. So I mean that can be the name of a. It's like a what they call like a royal U. It just means a group of people. So Disagreeable Nerd is me, DJ Sade, but I am the titular Disagreeable Nerd.
You
Yeah.
didn't start that until DJ started merging in. You didn't start saying that. You didn't used to say that.
No, I just now made it up.
You just made it up.
But it's true. Like the name on my the thing, the graphic that I have as the logo, it just says Disagreeable Nerd. It doesn't say the Disagreeable Nerd.
Yeah.
So I guess
Because there's not it's the podcast is made up of 3 individuals.
well, I mean, back in the day, it was whoever, me, you. It was me.
Whoever.
Actually, I was going to say this. The first episode of this show didn't even have Sade on it. It was me.
It did not.
That's
DJ, Bubba, and Jerry. It was such bad quality. I had it posted at one point, but I got rid of it.
You can't do that kind of
got
stuff.
rid of
You
it. No,
have
it
to
was
keep.
bad.
You have
It
to
was
keep
ri-
it
no, I don't- hey,
for nostalgia
Guess whose
purposes.
podcast this is? I got rid of it.
Hey,
I can do
guess
what?
what?
I want.
I
Who's
edited
the
it.
Disagreeable Nerd here, Paige?
No, we're all
well,
the
say,
disagreeable
I
nerd.
mean,
No,
I hate to pull this.
I
I
disagree
hate to
with-
pull this.
I
But
disagree.
who's paying for this Podbean hosting?
I put some halvesies in there.
No, you didn't.
I pay rent.
You ain't never paid
It's
nothing
part
on
of
this
it.
podcast.
Halvesies, yes, I have. In secret, you don't know about it.
I've paid for everything.
I paid for something.
You've paid for
I
nothing.
paid for your whiskey. How would you guys feel about T-shirts?
This is self-serving, but I really like the design. I got the Disagreeable Nerd design, the little
You paid
face.
for it, right?
I went on Fiverr and told somebody what I wanted,
Fiverr, interesting.
and they did it. And the lady that did it now is no longer in business because I went back to her. I was like, oh man, I want her to do this and this. And I went back and she's no longer in business. But it's a good, like it's got one of the images has got this black background. I think they call it like a 3D type thing. I don't know. I really like it.
People with Fiverr are
But
usually.
I like my
3D.
logo.
So what if we made the logo?
You can very
a
easily.
T-shirt.
All you got to do is go like on Redbubble or something.
I would
and they
totally
do it.
be in charge of that because I like to
At
do
least
crap
3
like
of
that.
us would own these t-shirts.
No. I think Tony Bradshaw would buy one, and
Tony, thank you. He comments on our YouTubes. Trevor Franklin, he's also a Board Game Snobs fan.
Yeah.
But he also says, hey, nerds, Trevor here. From the famous podcast Retro Bliss, Cardboard Cave, and Block Set Review. Trevor, I've never heard you mention Block Set Review. Is that new? He said, just kidding. No one cares about any of those podcasts, but I'd like to flash my pod credentials whenever contacting podcasting heavyweights, such as yourselves.
I think it's super cool that he listens to us because, like,
but he said,
I don't know, that's awesome.
He says, just writing to, this was a couple weeks ago.
Was this for Disagreeable Nerd or Bar?
I think it's cool. Anybody listens to us.
This is Disagreeable Nerd. He said, just writing to say, I really enjoyed Disagreeable Nerd. I want to kind of paraphrase some of this. It's a low stress way to feel like I'm hanging out with you both while having a bunch of he says you both. So somebody got discounted. Whether it was
I get cut out a lot of that stuff.
Well, Deej, it's okay. You are a relative new regular addition.
I only get critiqued by Mr.
No, DJ. Here's what I think. I think maybe he hear me and Gabby fight all the time, and your voice gets kind of merged in or something.
Okay,
and we should stop fighting.
I'm the calming one.
But he was saying he enjoys the show. But he says a question for the podcast, and I guess we could have made this a topic at some point. Are there any classic video games you have good memories of or enjoy? Because his podcast, Retro Bliss.
So he has his own podcast?
Yeah, he's got...
What?
Apparently 3 of them.
Is it on Spotify?
Retro
Bliss.
Let
me look it up. Oh, wait, I can't. My phone's broken.
Retro Bliss is a video game podcast that him and his buddy do. Cardboard Cave is a board game podcast him and his wife do. And sometimes his sister-in-law.
Cool.
I'm not sure Block Set Review. That's my first time listening to that one.
I have to check that out.
But he says, I love the Donkey Kong Country games. With all the movies and TV shows that get board games now, I'm disappointed that there are basically no good modern games based on classic video games. So, Deej, you're the gaming guy here. Are there any classic video games you have good memories of or enjoy?
I mean, I got, tons of memories of games that I enjoyed. I guess the question would be, how far back is retro? I mean, for me, retro would be like 64. I mean, I'm not as old as some people.
I mean, Goldeneye, to me, that's classic at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot of memories of Goldeneye because when I played Goldeneye, I was only 6, 7 maybe. And I remember playing it in the den of a couple of friends' house, which I had a lot of fun playing it way back when. We played multiplayer, obviously. Yeah. And I loved it, but it's been so long, I don't have much memories of it. I have more memories of playing Super Mario 64.
I was about to say, so what would be your earliest gaming memory?
I think my earliest is playing Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 actually with your nephew, Andre. He had a 64, and I think that's the first thing I remember playing over his house, which I really loved back then.
I used to play video games back in the day, like that, like the retro ones.
What'd you play?
I played Mario games.
Oh, I enjoyed that long pause between Mario and games.
Sorry, I was also thinking Pac-Man because I played Pac-Man. I don't know if that's part of it.
Okay, as the oldest guy on the podcast.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. So what is the earliest? What is the earliest?
What are you talking about? Speak clearly.
What's the earliest game you remember playing? What's the oldest, in modern gaming, when you picked up a controller and played a game, what's the earliest one you remember? Sade.
Mortal Kombat.
Ooh. Mordor Combat. So you were like,
what the heck?
You're one of the hobbits.
Oh, yeah, with Legolas and
good against Legolas,
Aragorn.
Yeah. Now, Mortal Kombat, that's a good one.
I remember.
Were you Sub-Zero guy?
So
Raiden,
my brother.
Oh,
I'm just going back. My brother was into video games back then, so that was how I play video games because my mom would buy him the system, and he had the ones I don't remember the games for this, but I do. Maybe this was it. The ones where you put it inside something. It's like this little a cassette thing. And you throw
a cartridge.
You talking about the cartridge, the game cartridge?
The game cartridge.
Yeah.
You put it in there, and it's the earliest.
That was the 64.
That was the
Super Nintendo.
Okay, so that's the earliest game device system that I remember, and then eventually it became the PS2, and that's how we played games. The CDs. Xbox 60.
Did the first PlayStation take a CD type thing?
Yes.
Or
PlayStation 1 was
PS1 and
a disc.
PS2. PS1
I think it was like
PS2.
the first one to employ a disc.
Okay, so it's like
Yeah.
the Ataris, the Nintendo, Super Nintendos, Nintendo 64.
So I didn't realize I had names. My bad. When y'all were describing it just now, were y'all just describing it? The cassette cartridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did the Sega Genesis take a cartridge?
I
don't remember.
think
And
I don't remember
those
either.
kind of
I
games.
just like the little black system. I can't remember if it took a disc or a cartridge.
What about the
Might take a
Nintendo Cube?
cartridge?
GameCube.
GameCube was a disc. It was those little tiny discs.
That did you?
I loved the GameCube. It was like
What
one
was
of my
that
favorite systems.
PSI? Was there like a PSI? Oh no,
PSP.
PSP. One of my brothers, my stepbrother, he used to bring his PSP all the time when he visited, and I used to freaking think that was like the most amazing thing ever. Like he would always like do the racing games, and sometimes
I never liked the PSP.
You never liked it? I thought it was so cool.
I used to play on my
know.
stepfather's Game Boy Advance, or not Game Boy Advance. Well, yeah, that too. But the SP, the one that flipped open, little Game
I know
Boy.
what you're talking about.
Oh man, I love that.
I like those.
Play
I never
Zelda on
had
it
it.
all the time.
I never had any of the handheld devices.
Oh,
My first memory of gaming, besides arcades, is I was probably 6, 7, 8 years old. It was the Atari, the OG Atari, and Pac-Man.
Pac-Man. That's a
Beyond
big
that, one of my
love
friends had an Atari, and I remember playing Missile Command and Pitfall.
The more you like run and jump over little
Yes,
pits and swing on the ropes and stuff. Yeah.
yes. But my first gaming console that I just had to have, that I begged my parents for, I even wrote up a contract for my mom and dad and said, I will do this, this, and this. I will be this obedient to you.
You're kidding, right?
No,
you're seriously kidding.
I literally wrote up a contract and said, I will do this. I will do this. I will mow the yard. I will take out the trash. Please let me have a Nintendo.
Okay, were you the only child at the time? Like, was
No,
your
my
dad
brother was
moved-
at the house at the time.
Oh my god!
So, and I
hilarious.
believe he co-signed, but I signed it.
No way!
And I got because me and my best friend at the time
Countersigned
growing
by
up
Junior.
with Quaylen, he had the Nintendo. I went to Quaylen's one night, spent the night. He had the Nintendo. We went to his brother's house actually, played the Nintendo all night long. The first Super Mario Brothers game. Oh my God! I have never. That game just blew me away. I had to have it. So then I got the Nintendo. I remember playing Super Mario Brothers. I remember playing F-Zero. I remember playing Mega Man. Those were all very good.
F-Zero classic.
I remember the Goonies game.
I feel like you
loved the
are-
Goonies game.
in the Stranger Things universe.
Well, I mean that was it was very late 80s, early 90s, maybe. Probably late 80s. It may have been. I don't know. I don't know the timeline on when the Nintendo came out. But then I did get the Super Nintendo, and I played the John Elway football games forever. Love that. And then I also actually I didn't buy the Super Nintendo, not the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64. Somebody else bought that, but for some reason one got left at my house, and we just tore up. We tore up 007 Goldeneye.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
that's all we did. That, and there was this like snowboarding game, 1080 or something.
I feel like I
SSX.
played this for some reason.
And oh my God, like that was my late teenager to early 20s years there. But I've always liked video games. When me and Jenna got married, my first console that I purchased very clearly was the quickly defunct Sega Dreamcast, but I loved the Sega Dreamcast. The graphics were great. It also had like this hoverboard game that was amazing. Like you were on this hoverboard.
I remember that.
And it was like super futuristic, but the graphics were great. At least I thought they were back in 2000.
I feel like
Siphon Filter was PlayStation.
Gabby, I feel
I
like
did have a PlayStation.
with video games.
Trevor, you have sent me down a wormhole. Like we're supposed to be on a completely
I
different
feel
topic
like with
right
video
now.
games, I feel like if you really got me into video games, like I started playing with you all the time. I'm a very passionate. I get obsessive with something.
We know.
So,
Skating.
thank
yes.
you, DJ. I feel like if I
Hair,
got
yes.
into, okay, cool. You know everything about me, Corey. That's right. That's awesome. I think I would get into it and I would be obsessed with it because that's what happens when I get into something. So maybe I should get into it.
I was actually more, I mean, obviously, as you get older and responsibilities and life takes over, you don't have less time, but some people still make that time. DJ's still making time, but I became less enamored with the story type games, and I'm just
I
more
don't like those.
I'm just more like the multiplayer online stuff. But the story games do provide a much richer experience. It's like you play those.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, the Tomb Raider games, like I remember the first time I played not the old school Tomb Raider. Never played. I rented a couple.
The reboot Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I rented a couple of the old school and just couldn't do it. I could not.
They're terrible.
Couldn't stand them. But the rebooted Tomb Raider blew my mind. Like, I'm like, my God, this is like you're actively involved in this movie.
I'm not sure if my brother just like saved up money one time, and I don't know how he got this video game, but he got the video game Ghost Rider for some reason. Don't know why. And me and
It's a terrible game to save up your money for.
I don't know, but when I was a kid and he bought this game, I used to love this game.
I've never heard that
I don't
one.
even know why.
I mean, I know who Ghost Rider is, but there's a game.
It's based off the movie or the whatever. And I remember
based off the Nicolas Cage movie.
Terrible movie.
I remember that, and
awesome.
it was so cool because of the motorcycle.
I did play. It may have been an Xbox, like the original Xbox game. Not the original Xbox. I mean, the original generation of Xbox. There was a game called Enslaved. I love that game.
This is a video game
that was 360.
podcast,
I remember you telling me about that.
360. Okay. Yeah, it was that third person, just it was pretty linear. I prefer linear to open world because I get
Like a platformer.
Yeah, I get too lost in the open world stuff. But Enslaved was really good. Love that game. It's one of the few like story-driven games I've completed. That, Tomb Raider, LOU, just some others. It's just...
I feel like if I had my own game system, I'd play more, but I don't have my own game system. You have yours, and I don't know what's happening with yours. You have your own saved crap. So I kind of freak out with all that. So I feel like if I had my own one, I'd play more.
Yeah.
Also...
Oh, I did... Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, is this a video game podcast now?
Apparently so.
I mean, it's just one episode.
But the other one I did
True
finish. I did finish an RPG. The only RPG. No, I take that back. I finished the first Fable. Maybe it was the third Fable. I can't remember one of those Fables I finished. But the first RPG that I remember finishing that was a big deal was Mass Effect 1. Finished Mass Effect 1. Never played 2 or 3. I know that's like
foolish of you.
I know that's like DJ and Jerry's like some of their favorite games, but
So Jerry plays video
and
games?
Michael.
Oh yeah, I RPGs. I like the idea of them, but again, if they're too open world, I can't.
It is like the least RPG-ish of any RPG game.
I need you to tell me where to go and what to do.
I was gonna say that they're about to make or they already made the remake of all three of them. They're legendary, the enhanced editions for them. It's supposed to be out next month. But I was gonna say I have a lot of memories of games like coming over to people's houses and playing them because I didn't get a game system myself for a long time. I used to play the Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo. I loved that game so much. It was so fun. I have a lot of memories of the 64 at people's houses. My first system was the PlayStation 1. My mom got it for me. Mm-hmm. And I hardly had any games for it. But it did come with a demo disc, which I played the crap out of. That had it was like Monsters, Inc., Dodgeball.
Oh, wow.
It had like a Barbie game, which you sure as heck I played.
Yeah, there you go. Play that Barbie game.
Yeah, I mean it was like the Treasure Island or Treasure Planet. Sorry,
you remember the Tekken
Treasure
games?
Planet, the Disney game. Remember what?
Tekken.
I used to play Tekken all the time.
Tekken was good.
But I think my mom somehow conned my aunt out of her PlayStation 2 that she had got from my younger cousin Andrew and got them to trade the PlayStation 2 for the PlayStation 1 because there was more kid games for the PlayStation 1.
Oh, interesting. There you
Word
go.
to
That's
my
how you
mom.
con right there, baby.
And most of my memories are playing with Andrew, Matt Eaton, and Andre, your nephew. We used to play the crap out of like Time Splitters and just all these different games for the GameCube. I mean, we had so much fun back in the day when I had no responsibilities.
Mountain Dew and video games.
Just so much Mountain Dew late nights and
Cheetos. I don't know what
junk
kind of
food.
snacks you guys ate.
Siphon Filter. Did you ever play Siphon Filter?
I never have, no, but I've always heard about it.
Ramirez.
I played Splinter Cell, which is
I
somewhat
tried
similar.
Splinter Cell, but there's just too much. That's my thing. I don't have the patience to sneak around. I go in guns a-blazing. That's my style, and that's why I'm terrible at modern video games as well. It's just like I just go in. Splinter Cell requires you to sneak and crouch and move very
Gabi,
slowly.
You don't remember when you and Andre played Splinter Cell at your house, like for hours and hours and hours?
I mean, no, not really.
Because it was co-op, Gabi, and you don't have to sneak. You could like just run around in the dark and shoot the lights because you had night vision. Oh man, that's some of the
Virtua
best memories I have.
Fighter. Did you play
Virtua
Virtua Fighter?
No, I
Oh
played
my
like Dead
God.
or Alive,
Me?
Tekken.
Okay.
Never played Virtua
So
Fighter.
1996, 1995, I graduate high school. I moved to Fayetteville, Arkansas a few months later because my brother's like, hey, come up here. I got a job for you.
Word right now.
Yeah.
Is it because
tuned out.
did I yawn? I've actually been
Oh,
wanting
you're
to
just
say
kind of like
Sorry.
looking off in the
I've
This
been
is a
wanting
year
to.
before you
I wanted
existed.
to say
Sorry.
one thing before you got into it because I don't want to forget what I was going to say. I've forgotten.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So 1996.
I'll probably interrupt you here in a
It's
minute.
probably like 95, 96, but 96 is the year I remember being at Fayetteville. But me and my best friend Victor, we met up with my friends Andy and Robert that lived in this house. And, you know, I'm just out of high school, but Robert and Andy had a Sony PlayStation. And it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. We played hours and hours of Virtua Fighter and Rally Racing, Dirt Rally Racer, something Rally Racing. And it was freaking amazing.
So you're racing on a dirt bike.
But it was huh?
I don't know.
No, not a dirt
I
bike.
was thinking dirt bike.
No, a
rally
car, just rally racing.
Oh, okay. I guess I
And
didn't
they
know what that
were
meant.
the most amazing games I ever played in my life back then. And they still, like, to my day, in my brain, I'm like, that rally racing game was just insane.
Whenever my stepbrother used to come visit, he had all the video games, and that's a lot of experience I had. I was just going to say, have you guys ever played those street basketball games where they're street?
Yes.
NBA Jams?
I used to love.
No.
I
It was literally called Street.
I think it was just street.
Oh, okay.
And-
NFL Street and NBA
something like
Street.
that. And I used to love playing those.
Those were awesome. I don't care for sports games, but those were like so
They
unrealistic.
were, and
like
they
you
had
would
like music in the back.
run on the wall playing football.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I don't remember the street games.
Those are some memories I do
mean, I
have
think I
of,
kinda do,
of
but-
sport video games.
I do.
With that.
But you did trigger NBA Jams.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom Shakalaka and He's on Fire. Like, yeah. Those were Nintendo games, though, or Super Nintendo.
64?
Okay, they may have been 64. I don't know. I remember going to my friends in Texarkana, Arkansas. Yeah, they had NBA Jams, and I ended up... Oh, man, there's so many good games now that I'm going back and thinking about it.
You guys ever have like a lump in your armpit, or is that just me?
You might want
How
to get that
big of a
checked
lump you
out.
talking
I
about?
don't know. It just hurts.
Maybe it's just
I think
a
I have
zit. Is
cancer.
it ingrown hair?
I don't know. Probably.
It's your lymph nodes.
Maybe I'm dying.
That's from your deodorant page.
Oh, my deodorant. Okay, speaking of deodorant,
stop using that
speaking of
aluminium.
deodorant, I ran out of my Dove. and
Aluminium.
So I've been using Arm & Hammer, and my sister's like, that has a recall on it. And I was like, are you sure?
Oh, my God.
Anyways, it's Arm & Hammer. I probably had it for like years. I don't know. I've just been using it and just not buying another thing of it because I'm lazy. Just like toothpaste, I just try to suck everything out of that bad boy until it's, one little drop. And then I end up going to Gabi and Gina's bathroom and using their toothpaste. I should probably buy my own toothpaste.
Okay, so we really meant to discuss DCEU versus MCU this podcast.
That didn't really happen.
But then I read Trevor's email, and it sent us down a wormhole of video games, which I love. Like
We could go on for a lot longer.
I forget. DJ is a video gamer. Like every time I talk to him, he's either playing or has played or something. Him and his wife, they play video games. Gina hates video games. She really hates board games too.
Don't say Pedro hates video games.
She doesn't hate. She just
Paige
thinks
just doesn't play video games.
If you're not like, okay, I don't know how to describe my wife. She's very unique. Go ahead.
Gina to me is a very practical woman. She likes to do things that benefit her in her home.
Is home housework.
To me, like
literally,
she would do, things that are fun, but like video games isn't something
she enjoys hanging out.
She thinks it's
associating.
Fun. Yeah.
But for her, if she's not literally cleaning house, and I'm not saying this to be
genderizing,
macho, no, just
you better straighten that out.
You know what I'm saying. Like literally, my wife enjoys housework. She enjoys keeping the house clean. She enjoys going out in the backyard, working in the yard, vacuuming. Every time we start podcasting, she will start vacuuming. If she sits down to watch TV, she goes to sleep.
Well, not all the time.
That is my wife.
Most of the time.
Except she also plays games.
So Chara has a bit of Gina in her.
Gina has a few board games that she will play, some card games, Ticket to Ride. She likes Lost Cities.
She likes Patrician, which I played once.
Patrician, yeah, she likes some of that, the lighter stuff, which that's fine.
Patrician's fine, but I get bored. I get kind of bored.
As far as, it's always amazing to me, it's like, my wife and I, as far as hobbies, don't have a whole lot in common.
And I think that's fascinating because it's like, I always think I have to have someone that likes exactly what I like, but I guess it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. I mean, we're quite opposite in a lot of things, but
no, you're opposite in everything.
Hey, how dare you?
Sorry,
but yet we
except your love.
We do love each other.
Opposites attract.
But I mean, when it comes to like movies, unless it's based upon a true story, she has no interest in it. Or there's a few actors she's like, oh yeah, I want to go see that. But generally, I will go to the movies by myself or with my good friends, Sharday or Deej.
Your best friends.
My best friends, Sharday and Deej.
Your only friends.
My only friends, Sharday and Deej and Jerry. But yeah, so that's cool that Charsula likes gaming with you, Deej.
That's why I say that. I think that's really cool.
It is. Me and Sharday, we play Injustice every now and then online, but as far as video games, we haven't played anything together online.
And it's not that I don't want to. It's just one of those weird things where it's like we just don't do it. Like we just don't play video games.
Well,
together.
And plus, my video game console is in my game room here, and there's not a whole lot of room because of this massive table I have in here. My board game table. This is a board game room, not a video game room. There are some things. I mean,
we usually go
in game room.
We usually go in the living room. Every time I've ever played Justice League, it was in the living room.
Yeah.
Where we both had
Injustice.
Space. Sorry, I always say that. Oh my God. Every time we play it, I'm a very aggressive Mo controller.
What?
What?
Mo controller?
Remote controller?
So sometimes when I say it,
or just controller.
Okay, sorry. Controller. I like move my body around and my arms. So Mo controller is how I say it.
Oh my God.
I'm actually
Page games people do in commercials that are so unrealistic.
I'm actually in from the 70s.
She presses all the buttons and gesticulates wildly.
Okay, wait. I've actually got a combination going.
If she's turning left, the controller throws wildly to the left.
I move with my character.
So cringe.
I don't know.
Necessary.
How is it cringy? Hello, come on.
The commercials.
Oh, well.
He didn't say cringy. He said cringe. That's what the kids say these days.
That's like cringeworthy.
It's just because I get really excited and I don't know. I can't control my bod. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Games We Remember Playing.
We did not do what we were going to say.
I could go on for hours about this.
We will talk about DCU and MCU.
and
the point,
Night
Sorry.
Shyamalan.
the problem
Sorry.
with that is it's such a boring topic that, I mean, when you have something else to talk about, it just kind of loses interest.
That's
like
what
a
podcast is.
Okay, you
We
want to
just
know
talk.
my short version of MCU versus DCEU? This
We're
is
really
it.
about to do it right now.
No, the MCU, all their stuff is good. Some great. Avengers Endgame, one of my top 10 movies of all
I feel like
time.
it's about to go cynical real quick. Go.
No, it's not. MCU
Okay.
is high quality Mark stuff, but it's all the same.
Yeah,
The DC
they found their formula and they stuck to it.
The DCE,
Smart.
all the movies have the same visual feel to the MCU, the same plot points, like the same da 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 da. Da. This is how it's going to go from beginning to end, and blah blah blah. Not that that's bad. They've all been obviously great movies. The DCEU has huge hits and misses, but the hits I enjoy more than the MCU hits. I will go watch. I thoroughly enjoyed Aquaman. I thoroughly enjoyed the Justice League Snyder cut.
Wonder Woman. How'd you feel about it?
Wonder Woman, the first one, very good. Wonder Woman, the second one, garbage.
I disagree with that.
The second one, garbage.
It's not.
Everybody
Absolutely
was
garbage.
raving about the
Not
first Wonder Woman, and
garbage.
I thought it was good, but it wasn't.
It was good.
I mean,
no, I thought,
okay.
no,
I'll
it
never
was
watch
good.
it again.
It was there are scenes of that one I would watch again. Like her innocence when it first starts out, I enjoyed a lot. We are going into it, so we don't need to go into it. We need to save it for another podcast. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode.
Too late. We already know what you want to say.
Titulars.
But we're too far in. It's too long.
I'll be
I
editing this.
am Gabby.
I am Shardy.
And this is Deej.
Later, dudes.